Kim-Trump summit, South Korean reporters arrested over North Korea trespass. Police in Singapore have arrested 2 South Korean journalists who are accused of trespassing in the home of the North Korean ambassador ahead of next week's Trump-Kim summit. Police said they were called to the residence on Thursday afternoon. 2 men working for South Korean broadcaster KBS were arrested and 2 others are under investigation. About 3,000 journalists are expected in Singapore for talks between President Trump and North Korea's Kim Jong-un. Mr. Trump has said he will consider inviting Mr. Kim to the White House if the Singapore meeting goes well. The U.S. and its regional allies want to see North Korea give up its nuclear weapons, but Mr. Trump has acknowledged that it will take longer than one meeting to realize that goal. What do we know about the arrests? Singapore police said on Facebook that 2 South Koreans aged 42 and 45 had been arrested. Meanwhile, a Mr. Kim lookalike said he had been questioned on arrival in Singapore. The Hong Kong-based impersonator calling himself Howard X said on Facebook that he was questioned for 2 hours by immigration officials. They searched my bags and then told me that this is a very sensitive time to be in Singapore and that I should stay away from the Sentosa Island as well as the Shangri-La Hotel in town, he said. How is Mr. Trump preparing for the summit? Mr. Trump has previously had a policy of placing maximum pressure on North Korea to force it to change course. But on Thursday he said he did not want to use the term anymore because we're going into a friendly negotiation, although he warned he had more sanctions he could use. He also said he was totally prepared to walk if the summit did not go well, but if it did go well, an invitation to Mr. Kim to visit Washington was not out of the question. Video.
Like a likely prospect after the summit between the 2 Koreas. But now comes the hard part, nailing down the details of a deal. The US has made its position clear. It wants Kim Jong-un to give up all his weapons and eventually receive economic rewards. But what does North Korea really want? North Korea has spent decades building up a nuclear arsenal at great personal cost for one reason: to guarantee the state's survival. So it's going to give up something, it will want something in return. The US sends B-52 bombers, warplanes and huge aircraft carriers to the region. Pyongyang could say no more. North Korea wants any deal to be gradual. They give up something, the US gives up something, and they get rewards along the way. But many believe North Korea doesn't really want to give up its weapons at all, and in fact, it wants recognition as a nuclear state. Kim Jong-un also wants to be a player on the global stage. North Korea is often perceived as this elusive, secretive, human rights abusing, and sometimes crazy state. There are signs it now wants to be treated as an equal, alongside the US, Russia, China, and South Korea.
경제적인 전반에서 활성화의 돌파구를 열어지게 하겠습니다.
Now this is key. North Korea has switched to one single focus: the economy. And that means they'll want international sanctions lifted.
He will be happy. His country will be rich. His country will be hardworking and very prosperous. They're very great people.
Kim Jong-un is playing hardball to get what he wants. He knows how much this summit means to President Trump. Donald Trump could still go to Singapore and come back with an historic-sounding deal on North Korea's nuclear weapons. But the goal of complete, verifiable, irreversible denuclearization may remain elusive. And there's a problem for Chairman Kim too. If he walks away from Singapore without a deal, Washington might decide diplomacy does not work with North Korea, and there are few other peaceful options.
Earlier, Mr. Trump said he did not think preparation was essential for his meeting with the North Korean leader. I think I'm very well prepared. I don't think I have to prepare very much. It's about attitude. It's about willingness to get things done, he said. Mr. Trump also dismissed speculation that U.S. basketball player Dennis Rodman, who has visited North Korea several times and is a friend of Mr. Kim's, had been invited to the summit. Video.
The much-anticipated meeting between Donald Trump and Kim Jong-un is about to take place right here in Singapore, one of the most food-obsessed countries in the world.
So it's no surprise that the Singaporeans are marking this special occasion with some fancy fusion food.
But are these dishes good enough to bring about world peace? We're about to find out.
Well, as you can see behind us, Singaporean restaurants are embracing the summit that is coming up. And here at this restaurant, they're taking a very simple but popular dish here in Singapore called nasi lemak. It's made up of coconut rice and it's paired with a very spicy chili paste and usually some other ingredients. But there's something special in this one.
Yes, as you can see, here's kimchi in it, and also U.S. beef. So there's the Korean element, U.S. element in the Singaporean dish. So basically you have 3 countries in one dish.
We'll see if this actually works and they all get along. I'm not particularly fond of the beef. It's kind of spongy.
Okay. It's not American enough.
It's not American enough.
Okay. I love this dish, except I think it has too many elements to it. I felt like they're fighting each other.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think this is sending the right message. I don't think this is a dish that will bring world peace. As you can see here, we are joined by our special guests. We have President Donald Trump over here and Kim Jong-un over here. And these are piñatas. We're in a Mexican restaurant. And right now we're about to test 2 different tacos. One right here is called the El Trumpo. It is a deconstructed cheeseburger. And then we have the Rocket Man, which is a deep fried chicken with a spicy Korean sauce. That's got some cook.
Okay.
And see how they arrived at the Rocket Man, being a bit fiery.
You'd expect this in a cheeseburger. But this is an unexpected match, but I quite like it.
So do you think these are dishes worthy of bringing world peace?
There are certainly a lot of conflict factors in it, but I'm leaning more toward yes than no. So this is a burger with minced chicken, kimchi, and seaweed seasoning on top of it. And you also see Korean rice rolls. I say this is not the usual kimbap. Growing up, I guess it was different kimbap with more vegetables in it.
It's just something different. It's definitely not a burger in the traditional sense, but I'm getting a lot of really lovely flavors out of it. I think the kimchi bun, it works
Somehow
for me.
it worked.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Monica, what do you say? Do you think this is good enough to bring about world peace?
You know, I'm going to say yes. I think this is a winner.
Actually, me too. This is a winner.
I like him. He's a nice guy. No, he was not invited, he said. What moves are other countries making? Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe has visited Mr. Trump, part of a flurry of diplomatic activity in the run-up to the summit as countries try to ensure their interests are not overlooked. On Thursday he said he was confident Mr. Trump understood Japan's concerns about its citizens who were abducted by North Korea in the 1970s and 1980s to help train its spies in Japanese language and customs. Mr. Abe said he wanted to directly face North Korea and talk with them so that the abduction problem can be resolved quickly. Please upgrade your browser to view this content. Timeline. Hide how Trump and Kim have changed their tone. What happened next? Show all. Was this timeline useful? Yes, no, thank you for your feedback. Share this timeline. He also reiterated Japan's policy to pursue real peace in the region and said if North Korea is willing to take steps in the right direction it has a bright future ahead. Meanwhile, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov has visited Mr. Kim in Pyongyang, laying the groundwork for Mr. Kim to visit President Vladimir Putin in Moscow later this year. Mr. Kim has also had 2 meetings with South Korean President Moon Jae-in, who in turn has visited Mr. Trump in Washington. In an indication that China is still a key player in the relationship, Mr. Kim has also made 2 trips to Beijing, meeting President Xi Jinping.